Good morning, everybody. Meteorologist Hunter Forst here. Welcome to the Weather Desk, where we talk about today's weather headlines, what's going on across the country, and of course, what's going on here in Hampton Roads. It's been a hot day across Hampton Roads over the last few days, but it's going to be even hotter today and tomorrow as well. Even the potential to see some severe weather, but it's not just here where we have the potential to see some severe weather. Also across the upper Midwest, they have the potential to see some tornadoes, some big hail, and some gusty winds. Here, main threat would be some gusty winds, especially as we head into tomorrow. But we also have a tropics update, more wildfires in California. We'll talk about the drought update as well. That comes out every Thursday morning. But also the heat and storms for us here at Hampton Roads. We'll go a little bit more in depth for that as we get towards the end of the show. But we do want to talk about the weather impact alert a little bit to start off for us here at Hampton Roads. It's for today and tomorrow, specifically in the evening, but also for the heat as well. Feels like temperatures in the triple digits this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. We could also see some severe weather as well. The threat for today for severe weather gone down a bit. There's the chance, but likely just heat will be the main threat. Heading into Friday evening, especially Friday night between about 7 and 10 o'clock, the potential to see some stronger storms moving on in. That looks to be a bit more widespread. Could see some gusty winds, a little bit of hail, and some downpours. So you just want to stay weather aware as we go throughout the next couple of days. Here's a look at the severe weather threat for today for Hampton Roads. Yesterday, this level 2 threat was a little bit further down to the south. They shifted it more off towards the north. So most of us now under only a level 1 threat out of 5, but the areas in yellow under that level 2 threat. So Williamsburg up through Tappahannock and Richmond under that level 2 threat for some severe weather. Now, we do have a weather impact alert both today and tomorrow, like I was saying, due to the extreme heat and the potential for some strong storms. But last night, we got our first round of unsettled weather. Check it out. A viewer sent us this picture of the clouds rolling into Norfolk. This was taken in Norview neighborhood around 6 p.m. And Hampton Roads isn't the only part of the country dealing with severe weather. For days now, there's been severe weather well off towards the north and west across the upper Midwest. The central U.S. has been getting hit back-to-back day after day throughout this last week. The system brought hurricane force winds and tornadoes to the Midwest on Wednesday. Reed Binion has a look at the damage.
There was occupants inside. There was residents in the main building that the roof came off.
Crews in Wisconsin responding to damage from violent storms that tore through parts of the state Wednesday.
Oh my God! Look at over there!
Storms also destroying this iconic Culver's barn. Communities coming together amid the damage.
Neighbors are coming together, as you can see, to helping one another out throughout the community.
Severe storms wreaking havoc across the Midwest, including at least 2 reported tornadoes, one captured on video in Lucerne, Missouri. Another possible tornado caught on camera just outside the town of Unionville. In neighboring Kansas, menacing clouds rolling over the landscape all across the horizon. Powerful storms uprooting trees. The wave of severe weather whipping up winds powerful enough to cause this train derailment in Minnesota. Violent storms ripping through parts of the state brought down trees and knocked out power for tens of thousands of customers. Intense storms also rolling through parts of Illinois, hitting the Chicago area hard. Powerful winds ripping part of a roof off a building and scattering debris on the street below, leaving motorists struggling to avoid the mess. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And the severe weather threat isn't over for the central U.S. Some of the same hardest hit areas are set to get hit again today, but it is looking like it'll be the final round for this area as we head into the next couple of days. The weather looking to be much better, but we do have some watches and warnings some watches up, for parts of the Midwest and areas around Illinois and Iowa. We have a tornado watch in effect, that area there in pink. And then we have a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of central Iowa and western Iowa and Nebraska as well. And seeing some strong storms moving through this region right now. Not seeing much in the way of any warnings, but of course, as we head into this afternoon, they do have the potential to see some more severe weather. Now, as of the latest update, I was looking at this morning, and the highest threat was only up to a level 3 for this part of Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and parts of Iowa as well. But now it's up to a level 4 threat for some severe weather, and that also includes Chicago. A level 3 threat for much of Michigan, off towards Wisconsin, parts of northern Missouri, which saw a lot of tornado warnings yesterday, and parts of central Iowa under that level 3 threat for some severe weather as well. And also again today, that level 2 threat for parts of Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, down into Pennsylvania. And for us here in Hampton Roads, under that level 1 threat, and some of us under the level 2 threat heading later into today. But the biggest risk for severe weather well off to our west. So Chicago over towards northern Illinois, they got to watch out for the potential for some tornadoes. You see this hatched area here. That means there's the potential to see some strong tornadoes, an EF2 rating or higher. So certainly could see some damaging tornadoes for a good portion of Illinois. Chicago under that as well. Parts of southern Wisconsin over towards Iowa and into northern Missouri. Now this is about a 15% chance, which is rather high, 15% chance of seeing a tornado within, so if you put like a dot here, you have about 15% chance of seeing a tornado in about 20-mile radius. As we take a closer look here, Peoria, Davenport, in that potential to see some severe weather. Also some really strong gusty winds and hail on the gun for today. But as we take a look, next is week 2 of the Atlantic hurricane season, how the tropics are looking this morning. Plus, we'll hear from hurricane forecaster about what could be in the store for us this summer. Welcome back. We are now a week into hurricane season, and here's what's happening in the tropics right now. Forecasters with Colorado State University release a hurricane season outlook every April and just updated those predictions this week. It actually downgraded the number of named storms we could see this year. Forecasters say that's because our chances for an El Nino developing are high.
The reason why we update the forecast is because there's new information in the climate system. So when we put out the first forecast, we were anticipating probably El Nino, which is warmer than normal waters in the eastern and central tropical Pacific. We were anticipating El Nino to develop and likely be of at least moderate strength. Over the last few weeks, the El Nino has come on pretty strongly. So we're currently still have what's officially warm neutral conditions, but likely headed over to El Nino here very, very shortly. And when you get an El Nino, so when you get warmer water water in the central and eastern tropical Pacific, why that matters for the Atlantic is because of what it does to winds high up in the atmosphere. In the tropical Atlantic, those winds tend to blow much stronger out of the west when you have El Nino conditions. And what that does is increases levels of vertical wind shear. Vertical wind shear is a change in wind speed and direction with height in the atmosphere. Too much shear tears apart hurricanes. So El Nino you can think of in general as being good for us and bad for the hurricanes.
And Colorado State University will update its forecast 2 more times this season, once in early July and again in early August. Now here's a closer look at the revised hurricane outlook from Colorado State University as of just the other day. They did drop the named storms down from 12 to 11, from 6 hurricanes to 5 hurricanes. So again, like they were saying, with that developing El Nino, likely we'll see a below average season as we head into this hurricane season, which is great news. When you have an El Nino developing over around the Pacific, you normally get a less active season here in the Atlantic, which is good news, but you also see a more active season over in the Pacific, which is what we've been seeing. We've already had 3 named storms over in the Pacific, a few named storms just off the coast of Central America. The latest was Christina, now just a remnant low. So that's great news, but it is going to continue to bring a lot of heavy rain to parts of El Salvador, around Guatemala, and then eventually could see some of its remnants making its way up into the Gulf. So here's a look at what we're watching in the tropics. Right now, there's about a 10% chance of development over the next 2 days. We'll see this tropical wave kind of moving over the Yucatan Peninsula, eventually getting into the Bay of Campeche, where there's plenty of warm water, but environmental conditions aren't great for this area here. So that's why development chances are fairly low. But if it was to develop, it's not going to have a lot of time to strengthen because it'll eventually run into Mexico or Texas. And of course, when tropical systems run into land, they weaken, and they weaken very quickly, especially in mountainous regions. Even though there's plenty of warm water, not going to give it a lot of time to strengthen, but also it's just going to be a big rainmaker for these areas as well. So Mexico, Texas, got to watch out for increased rainfall as we head into the next couple of days. But our next, or what I was about to say before, our full interview with the Colorado State forecasters aired in our morning stream show on Hurricane Hub Live, where Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandagis goes into depth on what's happening in the tropics. That airs every weeknight at 8 p.m. right here on the 13 News Now app. If you're watching on YouTube, you can download the app by scanning the QR code on your screen. Next, several wildfires are still burning out west. A look at the progress crews in California are making, putting out the flames. Welcome back. Right now, firefighters on the West Coast are working to put out several wildfires. In California, crews have made progress to stopping the turkey fire from spreading. So far, it has burned at least 50 acres in Calaveras County, and evacuation orders have since been lifted. Meanwhile, an evacuation center has people set up for people impacted by the November fire. In San Diego County, it burned more than 500 acres near Camp Pendleton. Reporters Ryan Hill has the story.
Oh, I jumped up from my desk and I ran to my boss and I said, I have to go.
Hearing there was a fire close to your home can send a wave of emotion throughout your body.
And I got in my car and I drove as fast as I could here.
As the November fire broke out, Taisha Parker raced to her and her husband Foley's home by the Oceanside Golf Course.
So as I was coming up, I can see the fire on the mountaintop and all the smoke. And then they were evacuating the golf course. It was about a little bit over a half a mile from us.
They grabbed their dogs, Daisy, Miley, and Oreo, and came here to El Camino High School, the makeshift evacuation point for those impacted by the fire.
I didn't think it was going to be big, you know, like I didn't think it was going to be right behind us, like until I went outside and checked out and it was right behind us. Didn't think something like this was going to happen, and we didn't know what to do in the moment because, you know, something that we aren't prepared for.
For Alexandria Lopez, it was a surreal moment seeing a fire raging not too far from their home, rushing to get out with what's important.
As long as all of us are out there and together and with the animals and things like that, I think that's all that matters, you know, because everything else is replaceable.
It's okay to let go. Sometimes disasters happen and you have a chance to do something new. My main concern was my family, stuff I can always replace.
And drought conditions are helping fuel those western wildfires. The new drought monitor was released about an hour ago, and here's a look at Hampton Roads' latest drought monitor. Unfortunately, it has gotten worse since last week. We went in the right direction last week, but we haven't seen a lot of rain over the last few weeks. So, of course, it's gotten a bit worse here in Hampton Roads, now under a severe drought for all of the south side, up through the southern portions of the eastern shore, up into Williamsburg and Hampton. The northern neck under an extreme drought, central and northern eastern shore under an extreme drought as well. And this extreme drought has expanded into parts of the south side. So Ivor, areas right around Wakefield, Franklin, in that extreme drought. So unfortunately, we've been moving in the wrong direction. We haven't been seeing a lot of rain. So over the last week, the drought monitor has been getting worse. Now, over the next couple of days, we do have some rain chances. Not talking about a lot of rain chances, but at least there's a possibility. We did see a good amount of rain last night, at least, a quarter to a half an inch in a few spots. We saw some heavier rain, and those rain chances going up a tad heading into tomorrow especially. But let's take a live look outside. Storm chances and temperatures are ticking up in Hampton Roads. I'll have your Thursday forecast and beyond coming up in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everybody. And again, we've declared a weather impact alert for today and tomorrow due to extreme heat and the possibility for some strong storms as well. Now, that severe weather threat has gone down a bit for today compared to what we were looking at yesterday, but the heat still on the table for this afternoon. Feels like temperatures in the triple digits for a lot of us. The severe weather threat going up even more for your Friday. Most of us under a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather. Today, most of us under around a level 1 threat, and those rain and storm chances are a bit low. But if you do see a pop-up shower or storm, it could pack a punch today. Could see some gusty winds, a little bit of hail, and of course some downpours. So you just want to stay weather aware as we go throughout the next couple of days. Take it easy, especially if you're outdoors for a long period of time. Forecast high for today around 97 degrees. Current records 98 at Norfolk International Airport. That was set back in 1911. So we'll see if we tie. Do we have the possibility of breaking it? Certainly a chance. Only about a degree behind of what we're forecasting, so we'll have to see if we get up there. Again, 97 for today, partly cloudy. Winds out of the west around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm later this evening, but those rain chances going up heading into your Friday evening and Friday night. Here's a look at the feels like temperatures for this afternoon. 103 in Norfolk. Not going to cool you down at the beach. 103 in Virginia Beach, 102 in Elizabeth City, 101 in Wakefield, 100 in Melfa, 103 up in West Point, 102 in Tappahannock. Even heading into tonight, Thursday, 10 o'clock, still feeling like the low 90s in Norfolk, 90 in Newport News, 88 in Ahoskie, 91 in Elizabeth City, feeling like 89 and West Point. Going to feel hot again tomorrow as well, feeling like 104 in Norfolk by Friday afternoon, 104 in Franklin and Newport News, 103 in Elizabeth City, 99 in Virginia Beach, 104 in West Point, 103 over in Emporia. We do have heat advisories in effect for the south side up through Hampton, Williamsburg into the northern neck for those high feels like temperatures. That goes until 8 o'clock this evening, and we'll likely see another one issued for tomorrow as well. But it's a nice start to the day. We're seeing plenty of sunshine. Already seeing a good amount of people heading to the beach, some people in the water. Water temperature is getting a little bit more comfortable, so I'm not surprised that we'll see more people in there. And the rip current risk is low today. So that's some great news. Right now, we're already in the low 80s, 82 in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, 82 in Hampton, 80 in Newport News. It's 84 in Norfolk, 79 in Elizabeth City, 82 in Chesapeake, about 3 to 6 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, but also feeling much more humid than this time yesterday. Dew points in the low 70s. Satellite radar is looking good out there right now. Not much to worry about if you're stepping out the door or heading off to work. By later this afternoon, we're in the mid to upper 90s, pushing 100 degrees, staying mostly dry through the day. Could see a pop-up shower, maybe a thunderstorm, but I think most of us should be fine as we go through the day. Heading into Friday morning, it's a nice start, a warm start, muggy and warm already by 7 in the morning. We're at 80 degrees in Norfolk, 78 in Suffolk. Heading into Friday afternoon, we're in the upper 90s, pushing 100 degrees once again, feeling like 105. And then by Friday evening, 7, 8 o'clock, we'll see a round of showers and storms pushing on in. Start to move into the south side around 9, 10 o'clock. Could see some heavier downpours, thunder, lightning, strong gusty winds, maybe a little bit of some hail as well. And then that'll push down into eastern North Carolina around 10, 11 o'clock. And then it moves out around midnight, and we're looking much better. Heading into Saturday morning, winds will be more out of the north, helping to lower humidity for Saturday. So it'll be feeling more comfortable to start off the weekend. Here's a look at that severe weather threat for today. Again, here in green, a level 1 out of 5 risk for the south side up into Hampton, Newport News, Franklin, and then a level 2 threat for areas in yellow. So from Williamsburg north up into Tappahannock and Richmond. And then by Friday, that severe weather threat going up a bit. All of the south side under a level 2 threat. Same around the eastern shore, through the peninsulas, the level 2 threat, and along 95 as well. Again, main concern will be strong gusty winds, heavy downpours, and maybe a little bit of hail as well. By this weekend, looking much better. 91 on Saturday, mostly sunny, 95 degrees on Sunday. Beach day will be better on Saturday because humidity levels will be lower. It'll be feeling more comfortable to be outside for a longer period of time. But again, if you're taking your pets for a walk over the next few days, one thing you want to keep in mind, you want to take them out early in the morning or later at night. or in a shaded area because the asphalt and concrete could get up to 140 to 155 degrees. And that could be painful for the paws. 96 today in Norfolk, 96 in Virginia Beach, 88 in Cape Charles, 97 in Hampton, 98 in Hertford today, 99 in Eaton. Tonight, it is going to be very mild, mid to upper 70s, 78 in Norfolk, 76 in Gloucester. AC is not getting a break over the next 48 hours. And then another look at tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, going to be hot in the upper 90s, feeling like 105 degrees. Some storms heading into the evening. Weather impact alert Thursday and tomorrow for the potential to see some severe weather, especially Friday evening. It's going to be heating up and it stays hot heading into the weekend as well. But remember, you can always get the latest news, traffic, and weather on the go with the 13 News Now app. Scan the QR code on your screen to download the app now. It's free on the App Store and Google Play. Thanks for joining me today on the Weather Desk. We'll be back here again tomorrow at 9 o'clock to give you the latest in today's top weather headlines. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.